How's it going, everybody? This is Ben for Ben Cats and Kerr, and welcome back to another episode of Warframe Theory. Again, the background is silent because I did some sort of vlog, and I don't remember what it was, but I'm just using this for background gameplay and imagery and whatnot. And I'm going to, I guess, forewarn you at the beginning of the video, I'm in a little bit of pain. I got some kind of allergic reaction going on, and it stings because I put lotion on it. So if my thoughts are a bit scrambled, terribly sorry. It really hurts. Like, it feels like my hand is on fire. Anyway, I still want to do this video. I was really inspired to do it earlier, and I just now put some sort of lotion or cream on it. So, excuse me, but I'm going to keep doing it. Anyway, this is another episode of Warframe Theory. I already said that probably. And this is not fact, it's just theory. Kind of like theory crafting, sort of things like that. It's not to be taken literally by any means, you know, it's not like this is the solid truth of the game. It's not like this is, you know, this is how the game is and all that. No, I'm not saying any of that. If anyone ever thinks that I am, for any particular reason, it's not the case. The video is just lagging in general, by the way. Warframe lags a lot, for me now when I'm recording it, so it will probably be, I don't know how I'll record it. I'll have to figure something out at some point very soon because school is starting up very quickly. Anyway, today's topic, as you know, last time we talked about the possibility of Teshin being Bayless. Alright. So, this sort of thing got started with my little brother saying, dude, you know that red liquid? Or he said something like this. He's like, dude, you know that thing with the red liquid? What if Teshin is Bayless? I'm just like, bro, holy shit. You did not just say that. That sounds so crazy that you just might be onto something. And so today, with me, I brought some notes because, I don't know, this is a lot to remember. There's a lot I want to talk about in this one, so I'm sorry, Kat, for running into our usual Skype time. It took me a little bit to kind of get the energy to do this video, but if we had already Skyped, I would have never actually recorded this. So it's sort of this confliction of my anxiety. Like, I want to present this well, you know. I don't want this to be a boring video. I want to kind of interest you in it and not be a total boring snob or whatever. So, qualifications that Teshin could be Bayless. Well, there's already one that we can rule out and say that for sure it is possible. It's because of the red liquid. You can this is the presumption anyways, that you could transfer a person's soul from one body to another, which is seen amongst a lot of Orokin higher-ups, or presumably seen amongst a lot of Orokin higher-ups, what with the Twin Queens, switching bodies, and the whole Lotus Margulis case, and the Hunhow, Parentol. I'll get into that at some point. It'll be in another theory video I make and I release, so go look for that if I have it out. If I don't, you can go look at it, kind of just look into what I'm talking about. Just look into those names, you'll see what I'm talking about, I think. Parentol invented the little sentient robot things, those things that adapt to your damage, the little star creatures. Sentience... Yeah, like basically his soul's in all those little things. That's how he can detect you, that's how he knows where you are, and all that cool stuff. And somehow Lotus is also a fragment of his being, which is really strange, and I don't quite understand that yet. But, hey, maybe that question will be answered eventually. Holy crap, my hand hurts. I'm sorry. Alright. So my first point here is that Teshin is most likely Orokin. And the reason I say this is not just because of his gold and his outfit, which already looks kind of Orokin if you actually look at it. It's also because he tends to talk like he's defending the Orokin, and he's pissed off at Lotus for taking out the Empire. He blames her entirely for it. And you know, we can't really say that's wrong. I mean, that's how he saw it. I mean, who knows? Who knows if it was really just Lotus that planned this? You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows who's behind it? Parentol / Hunhow was probably behind it. Who knows? Anyway, with his sort of Orokin pride that he seems to be displaying to us throughout the was it second dream? There was a second. I think there were like part of it was in second dream quest maybe, or it was the quest like to unlock the second dream quest, which damn I still can't remember the name of, but it's that quest. It's the quest where you have to scan the sentient to get it, and it has all this lore. You meet Hun Hao and all that other cool stuff. So, moving right along, let's presume he's Orokin for now. That's already another thing that you'd have to be in order to be Bayless, is to have that sort of Orokin pride. Sort of be like, oh, the Orokin is the law. You killed the Orokin. I don't know. Alright. So my second point, which I already covered, was that he hates Lotus for the fall of the Orokin Empire. And he does. He clearly displays that when we see a lot of interaction between him and the Lotus. If you want to go look at the dialogue, you can. But to save time in the video, I figured I would just leave it out for you to go look yourself. Or you could just take my word for it, whatever you wish. But go look into that if you really want to. Just know that I'm not lying to you about this in particular. I'm not. And they just have a really interesting interaction. You should go see it, or go listen to it, or whatever. Anyway, so my next point involves the trailer. And this guy right here, Mr. Teshin himself. Alright. So, in the trailer, you sort of come upon this pool of like red stuff or something. And the Tenno says, "This does not look Grineer." So you're like somehow expecting it to be Grineer, I guess. And then Tenno says something along the lines of, "We're being watched," and then suddenly Teshin's right behind the Tenno, and suddenly he's like, "You have ruined us both." I think that's literally what he says. I could be wrong about that quote, but I think that's literally what he says. I don't know for sure. I'm just thinking. I think that's what he says. I'm sorry for moving the mic there. Let me get my notes back up. But then suddenly he takes out his sword after he says, "You have ruined us both," in his deep, Bayless voice, presumably, and the reason that I think it's kind of interesting is that how would he have ruined them both is that he has betrayed the Orokin. And they were sort of allies, or he was sort of allies with the Tenno. He was sort of giving them a chance, I think. And I think now he kind of feels betrayed by the Tenno because they're going after his possible daughters. Because we don't know if he's the father or not. Is he the father? And I don't know. I don't understand the joke there. I'm just playing. I'm just going along with some jokes I've heard before in that regard. So let's continue here. He had an argument with the Lotus, of course. But no. One thing I wanted to talk about in the trailer, not Ordon Karis, but this scene. Because after he takes out his sword and you're about to duke it out with Teshin, you're about to fight him, suddenly you don't have a Warframe. At the end, you're just walking up this hill. I didn't get a screenshot of it. I don't know why. I'm a dummy for not doing that, and I'm sorry. But you're walking up this hill. It looks like the hill at Teshin's room in the relay. And so I just kind of wanted to point out how the hell would Teshin, of all people, know how to kill a know how to take out a Warframe, but like, here's the thing. How would he take you out of the Warframe? Because in order to like disable a Warframe like that, you'd have to know, like you'd have to either be a Warframe, I think, because I mean, not even the Grineer have been able to take down the Warframes yet. You know, not the Grineer haven't been able to do it. The Corpus haven't been. Well, Alad V is an exception, but he was an Orokin scientist, so let's keep that as sort of that outlier in this data here. So far, no factions, like no common faction members, have been able to really take out a Warframe when you think about it. So keep that in mind. No simpleton can take out a Warframe. and I'm gonna go with this sort of mindset for now, just for the sake of the theory and kind of sticking with this theme, is that in order to disable a Warframe or kill a Warframe, you'd have to either be a Warframe or be an Archimedean that was creating or developing the Warframes. And as far as we know, there are only 2 souls that have truly worked with the Warframes, besides Ordis, sort of making them based on blueprints. That doesn't count. He's just fulfilling a blueprint and creating it. He's not. I guess he is kind of inventing it. Yeah. So, and moving right along. Basically, I'm saying that in order to know the weak points of a Warframe and to be able to easily take out a Warframe without damaging a Tenno very much, you'd have to really know your Warframe. You'd have to really know what a Warframe is kind of like. You'd have to know the anatomy of a Warframe. And the only people who would know that are Archimedeans or Warframes themselves. So that leads me to believe that Teshin, aka Bayless, is the same person. Because he knows so much about Warframes, is able to take the Tenno out of the Warframe. Alright, that was one of my bigger points here. Lotus and Teshin almost sort of like fought in the quest. They had an argument. I don't know if they really fought, but they had like sort of this argument. They were sort of bickering, and they were kind of pissed off at each other. And it's interesting that when we, the Tenno, and Lotus leading us, goes after the Twin Queens, that he would suddenly want to fight us. He would suddenly have to take us out. Or eliminate us as being a threat. Because he doesn't seem to think we have much power without our Warframes. And I don't think this is a training exercise. Some people are thinking that this could possibly be a training exercise. I don't think so. Based on Teshin's serious tone, and he sort of had this kind of creepy gait around, about him, it doesn't seem like this is sort of like to train the Tenno. This seems like I'm going to defend the Orokin. They are my pride and honor. They are my family type of thing, and it's either kill or be killed. That's what this sort of feels like to me. So, with that in mind, he turns against the Tenno, and again, if he was to disable or kill a Warframe, he would have to know a lot about them. Which would mean he would have to be a Warframe to know Warframe anatomy, or an Archimedean to have studied it closely and know all the Warframe weak points, because no common Grineer, no common Corpus, no common Infested can easily take out a Warframe. We've seen that. It's clear. And for those of you who may say, oh, well, why would Bayless be like some super ninja dude who can fight and shit? Well, have you seen the Orokin moon maps? Those are normal Orokin buildings. Those things are freaking like Orokin parkour. You know what I'm saying? Like, these Orokin, they're no joke. Like, they are very fit. I mean, they are some buff dudes. I mean, if we're being honest, based on the Orokin architecture that we've seen so far, they are some very nimble, flexible, and very fit people. I mean, they're very healthy bodied. But besides the whole void sickness, red liquid, coughing, and all that stuff, they're very, very healthy and fit and strong. And again, in order to become an Orokin higher up, like an executor, you'd have to be able to hold your own. Like, honestly, you would. Like, you'd have to be able to hold your own against, say, a coup d'etat, a rebellion. You'd have to be able to hold your own against that in order to rise up in the ranks of being an Orokin. Because it was proven with Ordis that, they didn't really trust him at first. He had to earn his way. Ordon Karis had to earn his way up to the top. Even though he was born pure blood Orokin, he had to earn his way up. So that just proves to me that you'd have to have some badass fighting power in order to become an Orokin executor. I mean, you'd have to really know your stuff. So this whole conclave thing, I believe, is sort of like this. It's sort of the way of the executors. It's sort of like the way that that Ballas in particular fought. Maybe he made his own shit. I don't know. Like his own sort of kung fu style type thing, you know, or martial arts. And who knows? But he does have fighting power, and any executor would have to, in order to rise up in the ranks. I mean, it's not not enough. Clearly, I mean, this is all speculation. This is all theories. Blah blah blah. It's clearly not enough to just be pure blood Orokin. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove your worth in how well you fight, and how well you're able to defend yourself, and how well you're able to kill people. And we see him fighting with Tenno weapons, as a matter of fact. In the trailer, let me show you. I'm sorry for showing you my loadout and shit. This is kind of boring. Let me just flip to this. Yeah. So he has a Skana, and I can't remember. No, it's not the Skana. It's the Nakana, and I can't remember which one he has. But it was on the Wikipedia. But the fact that he can wield Tenno weapons, you know, that just kind of proves something. You know, the Orokin sort of made these Tenno weapons. They're blueprints created from the Orokin, which means that, you know, and as another point of interest here, think about this. What Teshin is training us to do, basically we've done in our Warframes the entire time. I mean, we've just used our Warframes to do all this crap. Like, if you play Conclave, player versus player, you're basically using Teshin's fight style. Like, lore-wise, to put the whole Conclave mode into lore perspective, you are basically learning how to fight like him. And the way that you're doing that is by being in your Warframe. Which means Teshin is pretty badass if he has almost the fighting power of a Warframe. And so, just kind of think about his fighting power there. Also, and I can't remember what quest it was. I had it in my notes somewhere. I think I deleted it on accident. But he was called a pseudo-Tenno because of how powerful he was by Hunhao. So, Hunhao/Parental would have had to have known him at some point to know how strong he is. And if they were both Orokin higher-ups, even though an Archimedean isn't as high as an Executor, they had their own sort of, like, fights, too. Like, you could just tell. If you read the Detron Crewman imprint, you know that they have a knife at each other's throats. So they know each other quite well. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. I'm ending this theory here. These are just all the fine points of how I think that Teshin could be Ballas. I personally think that he is, as of right now. I'm probably not even close to right with this, but I feel like there could be something to this that maybe is correct, or close to correct. But then again, this is just a theory, a Warframe theory, and I will, leave your feedback, leave your comments. Creative criticism is very welcomed and very appreciated. And, yeah, I'm just going to end this here. I'll see you all whenever I upload next. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, or favorite, or whatever you feel is necessary. And I will see all you lovely beings of the universe in the next thing that I upload. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah!